Okay, good afternoon to all. Good afternoon, students. So, in the previous class, we start the extended entropy. Extended entropy. So, let us today also can go for some times to spend on extended entropy. Then go for Shannon's source coding theorem. Shannon's source coding theorem. Okay, you know the entropy is the average information. Entropy is the average information, which gives an sigma pi log 1 by pi is the entropy formula. So that is bits per symbol. Bits per symbol. So in the previous class, you did some in the previous class, you did some problems on entropy. So today you have go for entropy of extended sources. Entropy of extended sources. So if suppose entropy of the source is defined as nth order, this h to the power of h of s to the power of n, h of s to the power of n is equal to n into h of s, where n is order of extension of the source. So h of s is entropy. H of s is entropy. You know the h of s is entropy formula. That is sigma pi log 1 by pi. Symbol. Bits per symbol. So now, you suppose h of s to the power of n. So n is the order of extension of the source. So that's why if n is equal to 2, it is the second order extended entropy. Second order extended entropy. So let there are three symbols S0, S1, S2 are emitted by the source, and second order extension, then the number of blocks. Suppose S number of symbols are 3, those are S0, S1, and S2. So now 3 to the power of 2, because of the 2 is the extension of the second order extension now. So that is 3 to the power of 2, it is the 9. Those are the 9 symbols. So already you know how the 9 symbols are generated. So these 9 symbols are generated. So these 9 symbols are sigma naught, sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4, sigma 5, sigma 6, sigma 7, sigma 8. 0 to 9 are 0 to 8 are the 9 symbols now. So the new symbol is sigma naught. What is the sigma naught? S naught, S naught. Sigma 1, S naught, S1. Sigma 2, S naught, S2. And sigma 3, S1, S naught again. Sigma 4, S1, S1. Sigma 5, S1, S2. Sigma 6, S2, S naught. Sigma 7, S2, S1. Sigma 8, S2, S2. So students here can observe there is some simple logic involved here. The logic is there are 3 symbols, S0, S1 and S2. So because of S0 occupies 3 places, S0, 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 S1, S0, S2, then go for the S1. S1 again occupy three places. S0, S1, S0, S1, 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 S2. Then S2. S2 occupy the three places. S2, S0, S2, S1, S2, S2. So if you understood that logic, how can arrange these symbols as new symbol as sigma. New symbol as sigma. Now, if you create sigma symbols from the available symbols are S0, S1, and S2, then S0, S0 is the sigma naught. The probability is P0, P0. And S0, S1 is the sigma 1. The probability of P0, P1. S0, S2 are the sigma 2. The probability is S0, P0, P2. P0, P2. And S1, S0 is the sigma 3. Then probability of P1, P0. And S1, S1 are the sigma 4. Probability of P1, P1. S1, S2 are the sigma 5. Probability of P1, P2. And S2, S0 is the sigma 6. Probability of P2, P0. S2, S1 is the sigma 7. P2, P1 are the probability. S2, S2 are the sigma 8. Probability of P2, P2. So then the probabilities are known. Probability are known. Can create the symbols. So let's consider an example here. The discrete memberless source with the symbol probabilities 1 by 4, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. There are 3 probabilities. So all the probabilities must equal to 1. That's why sigma pi is equal to 1. Sigma pi is equal to 1. So that's why here in example, please pay the attention on the example. So 1 by 4, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 are the probabilities of the symbols. Now calculate the entropy of the source, and B bit is entropy of second order extended source. A bit is entropy of the source, B bit is entropy of second order extended source. Okay, students, there are 3 symbols are emitted by the discrete memberless source with the probabilities 1 by 4, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Calculate entropy of the source, A bit. The B bit is entropy of second order extended source. Second order extended source. Then do the problem first. A bit is entropy of the source. You know the entropy? H of S is called sigma pi log 1 by pi, no? Sigma pi log 1 by pi. Here the pi is, here there are 3 symbols, no? S0, S1, S2. So now S0 probability is 1 by 4, S2 probability 1 by 2, S0 probability 1 by 4, S1 probability 1 by 2, S2 probability 1 by 2. There are 3 symbols, no? Now, H of S, the entropy. Entropy formula, sigma pi log 1 by pi. Now, here you can see this. 1 by 4 log 1 by 1 by 4. 1 by 4 log 1 by 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is the probability of the first symbol. Then log 1 by 1 by 4 is 4 also. 1 by 1 by 4 is 4 also, no? That's why 1 by 4 log 4 plus 1 by 2 log 1 by 1 by 2. 1 by 1 by 2 is 2, no? That's why 1 by 2 log 2 plus 1 by 2 log 1 by 1 by 2. Again the 2. That's why 1 by 2 log 2. That's why the H of S is summation of 3 symbols. 1 by 4 log 4 plus 1 by 2 log 2 plus 1 by 2 log 2. So can calculate, that is equal to 1.5 bits per symbol. 1.5 bits per symbol. That is the A bit. That is the A bit. That is the A bit. 1.5 bits per symbol. Now, the B bit is entropy of second order extended source. Entropy of second order extended source. Now, can you consider second order extended source means there are 3 symbols, 3 to the power of 2, because of 2 is the second order, no? 3 to the power of 2, 9 symbols are going to be created. What are the 9 symbols? Sigma naught, sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3, sigma 4, sigma 5, sigma 6, sigma 7, sigma 8. What is sigma naught? What is sigma naught? Sigma naught is S naught S naught. Sigma 1 is S naught S1. Sigma 2 is S naught S2. Sigma 3 is S1 S naught. Sigma 4 is S1 S1. Sigma 5 is S1 S2. Then sigma 6 is S2 S naught. Sigma 7 is S2 S1. Sigma 8 is S2 S2. Now S naught probability, that is 1 by 4, no? 1 by 4 into 1 by 4. Again, S naught S1 probability 1 by 4 into 1 by 2. S1 probability 1 by 2, no? S naught probability 1 by 4. 1 by 4 into 1 by 2. Again, S naught S2. S naught probability 1 by 4. S2 probability 1 by 2. Again, S naught S1 S2. S1 probability 1 by 2. S naught probability 1 by 4. Again, S1 S1. S1 probability 1 by 2. S1 probability 1 by 2. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. S1 probability 1 by 2. S2 probability also 1 by 2, no? 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. And S2 S naught. S naught probability S2 probability 1 by 2. S naught probability 1 by 4. 1 by 2 into 1 by 4. S2 probability 1 by 2. S1 probability 1 by 2. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. S1 probability 1 by S2 probability 1 by 2. S2 probability again 1 by 2. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Now 1 by 4 into 1 by 4. 1 by 16. 1 by 4 into 1 by 2. 1 by 8. 1 by 4 into 1 by 2. 1 by 8. 1 by 2 into 1 by 4. 1 by 8. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. 1 by 4. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. 1 by 4. 1 by 2 into 1 by 4. 1 by 8. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. 1 by 4. 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. 1 by 4. Okay, these are the probabilities. So, students, are you understood? These probabilities are the newly created symbols of sigma. Sigma naught probability 1 by 6, sigma 1 probability 1 by 8, sigma 2 probability 1 by 8, sigma 3 probability 1 by 8, sigma 4 probability 1 by 4, sigma 5 probability 1 by 4, sigma 6 probability 1 by 8, sigma 7 probability 1 by 8, 1 by 4, sigma 8 probability 1 by 4. Now 1 by 16, 1 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 4, 1 by 4. These are the probabilities. How many probabilities are there? 9 probabilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 probabilities. Because of newly created symbols are 9. Because of 3 symbols are entered by the source. Second order extension, no. 3 to the power of 2, 9 symbols are there. Let's find out the entropy of that. Entropy, sigma pi log 1 by pi. Sigma pi log 1 by pi. So what is that? H of s is called 1 by 16 log 1 by 1 by 16. 1 by 1 by 16 again 16, no? 1 by 16 log 16. Again 1 by 8 log 1 by 1 by 8. Again the 8. That's why 1 by 8 log 8. 1 by 8 log 1 by 1 by 8. Again the 8. No? 1 by 8 log 8. Again 1 by 8 log 1 by 1 by 8. 8 again. 1 by 8 log 8. 1 by 4 log 1 by 1 by 4. That is 4. 1 by 4 log 4. Again 1 by 4 log 1 by 1 by 4. That is 4. That is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 log 4. 1 by 8 log 8. 1 by 4 log 4. 1 by 4 log 4. So this is, how many additions are there? 9. Okay, now in this 1 by 16 into log base 2 16 is 4. Log base 2 16 is 4. That is 1 by 16 into 4. 1 by 8 into log 8 base 2 means 3. That's why 1 by 8 into 3. 1 by 8 into log 8 base 2. Again 3. 1 by 8 into 3. 1 by 8 into log 8 base 2. Again 3. That is 1 by 8 into 3. 1 by 4 into log 4 base 2. That is 2. 1 by 4 into 2. Again 1 by 4 into log 4 base 2. That is 2. Again 1 by 8 into log 8 base 2. That is 3. 1 by 4 into log 4 base 2. 2. 1 by 4 into log 4 base 2. 2. That's why 1 by 16 into 4 plus 1 by 8 into 3. 1 by 8 into 3. 1 by 8 into 3. 1 by 4 into 2. 1 by 4 into 2. 1 by 8 into 3 plus 1 by 4 into 2 plus 1 by 4 into 2. So that is 3.75 bits per symbol. That is 3.75 bits per symbol. That is HFS for the second order extension of the source. So source emits 3 symbols, no? 3 symbols have the second order. Now that 3 to the power of 2, 9 symbols. Okay, so it is the problem. So students, please practice the problem. So note down one problem regarding to that. Considered the discrete memory source with the symbol probabilities 0.7, 0.15, 0.15. Calculate A bit is entropy of the source, the B bit is entropy of second order extended source. So do it your own. There are symbols of 3 with the probabilities 0.7, 0.15, 0.15. So basically add all these probabilities, how much it is? It should be the 1. So that's why all the probabilities must equal to 1. Sigma pi equal to 1. The fundamental rule in the probabilities. Okay. Now, so if you did a problem, the first A bit entropy of the source is 1.18 bits per symbol. Second order extended source is 2.362 bits per symbol. So note down these answers and verify your answers. Okay. So this is the one of exercise problem. Consider the discrete memory source with the symbol probabilities are given 0.7, 0.15, 0.15. Calculate A, entropy of the source, B, entropy of second order extended source. The first one, entropy of the source answer is 1.18 bits per symbol. The second one, second order extended source answer is 2.362 bits per symbol. Okay. So now if the source emits the 2 symbols, if it extended to second order, how many symbols are created now? Source emits the 2 symbols. Second order extension takes place. 2 to the power of 2. 4 symbols, no? So those 4 symbols are S0, S1, S0, 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 S1, S1, S0, S1, S1. The binary, the source emits the 2 symbols means it should look like a binary. For the binary extension 2 means 4. If the 2 symbols are emitted, if it is order 3, how many newly created symbols? 2 to the power of 3, 8. So those are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. Likewise, you can up to 1, 1, 1. These are the 8 symbols. The source of the 2 symbols is easy to extend as a binary. If the source is extended 3 symbols, you can follow some logic. Okay, so that's why it is an extended memory, extended entropy of the source, extended entropy of the source. Okay, okay, students. Next, go for another concept. It is Shannon's source coding theorem. Shannon's source coding theorem. Shannon's source coding theorem, or it is known as Shannon's first law. Shannon's source coding theorem or Shannon's first law. So what Shannon's given his theorem concept is, if the entropy or average source entropy of the source and related to number of bits per symbol. Number of bits per symbol. They have some relation. So the Shannon's source coding theorem or Shannon's first law. Shannon's source coding theorem, Shannon's first law. Please note down. Sometimes you want to find an efficient code using fewest bits to represent the information. What is the efficient coding? If the code have fewest bits, minimum bits, that is the code is efficient code. Okay. If you assign bits to a symbol, that is the coded. So that is, if you assign bits to a symbol, that is the coding. The minimum number of bits to assign to the symbol, it is the efficient code. Now the Shannon source coding theorem or noiseless coding theorem states that we need the number of bits to represent a symbol. We need the number of bits to represent a symbol, not less than the entropy, in order to encode an information message in such a way that perfect decoding is possible. Perfect decoding is possible. Once again, read the statement. Sometimes we want to find an efficient code using fewest bits to represent a symbol or information. Shannon's source coding theorem or noiseless coding theorem states that we need to number of bits not less than the entropy, number of bits not less than the entropy, in order to encode an information message in such a way that perfect decoding is possible. Perfect decoding is possible. Okay. Here they encode the data and decoding. So it can encode the binary data for the symbols and decoding the same. Now you can go for perfect decoding and minimum number of bits to assign. So the average code word length of any code assigned to the set of S of symbols can't be less than the entropy. So the entropy is H of S. Defines the average code word length n bar of the half-memory code constructed by this process is less than. Now this Shannon source coding theorem is H of S by n bar less than or equal to 1. H of S by n bar less than or equal to 1. So H of S is entropy of the source. S number of symbols are emitted. The set of S number of symbols are emitted from the source. That is H of S. And n bar is average code word length. N bar is average code word length. N bar is average code word length. How it is calculated later I can discuss. Okay, H of S by n bar less than or equal to 1. What it means, H of S less than or equal to n bar. H of S less than or equal to n bar. Okay, H of S should be less than or equal to n bar. That is the Shannon source coding theorem or Shannon's first law. H of S is entropy and n bar is average code word length. N bar is average code word length. H of S less than or equal to n bar or H of S by n bar less than or equal to 1. So that is Shannon's source coding theorem. H of S is entropy of the source. N bar is average code word length. Okay. And for Kraft-Macmillan inequality is one of the testing process to uniquely decodable condition. So uniquely decodable condition means if you want to assign number of binary bits to a symbol, no? You suppose symbol is A. Let an example, symbol is A. For A symbol, assign 01 is a code word. 01 is the code word. For symbol A, 01 is the code. So now wherever the 01 is there, that should be the A letter only. So A is represent 01. The 01 is uniquely decodable by A only. Should not any other alphabet. Should not any other alphabet. That is the uniquely decodable condition. That is unique for that symbol only. Unique for that symbol only. That uniquely decodable condition. So in order to know that uniquely decodable condition, Kraft-Macmillan inequality is one of the parameter. Okay. In order to check uniquely decodable condition at the receiving end of communication system follows the Kraft-Macmillan inequality. So that is K. That is K. K is equal to sigma I to the power of minus Ni. K is equal to sigma I to the power of minus Ni. Where Ni is to the power of minus Ni less than equal to 1 should be. K less than equal to 1. What is K? Sigma to the power of minus Ni. Sigma I to the power of minus Ni. I is the integer value. I is an integer value. That should be less than equal to 1. That should be less than equal to 1. K should be less than equal to 1. K can be calculated as sigma I to the power of minus Ni. To the power of minus Ni. Where Ni is ith code word length. Ith code word length. I is equal to second code word length. I is equal to 3 third code word length. Code word length. The length of the bits to assign a particular symbol. Okay. So ith code word length. Ith code word length. That should be less than equal to 1. The previous one, h of s by n bar less than equal to 1, is the Shannon source coding theorem. H of s by n bar less than equal to 1. There h of s is average, h of s is entropy, and n bar is average code word length. N bar is average code word length. H of s by n bar should be less than equal to 1. And in the Kraft-Macmillan inequality, sigma pi, sigma k is equal to sigma to the power of minus Ni. Where Ni is the ith code word length. Ith code word length. I is an integer value. That should be less than equal to 1. That should be less than equal to 1. So now, a discrete memoryless source emits m equal symbols, probabilities, then the information rate. You know the information rate, R is equal, capital R is equal to small r into h of s. Small r is equal to capital R is equal to small r into h of s. Small r is symbols per second, h of s is average information. That is, R is information rate. Information rate. Capital R is equal to small r into h of s. That is equal to, if h of s is m equal symbols are emptying, you know the h of s m equal symbols are emptying. That is the second property of the h of s. That is log m base 2. Log m base 2. That R into log m base 2. H of s is equal symbols are emptied by the source now. That's why log m base 2. That is small r into log m. Small r into log m. So capital R is equal to small r into h of s, where h of s is equal number of symbols are equal probable symbols are emptying by the source. That's why log m is the condition. That's why capital R is equal to small r into log m. When the symbol probabilities are different, this is the condition of symbol probabilities are equal. That is capital R is equal to small r into log m. If the symbol probabilities are different, not equal, what happens? Capital R is equal to R into h of s, that is less than equal to R into log m. Small r into log m. So there are two conditions. One condition is, if the symbol probabilities are equal, R into log m is equal to, if the symbol probabilities are not equal, R into h of s less than equal to R into log m. So efficient transmission is required as encoding process, that is that is, if the memoryless source emit the symbol with the rate capital R is equal to small r into h of s. Small r into h of s, that given to binary encoder. Binary encoder is assigned binary data. Logic 0, logic 1 to the symbol. No, the symbol rate is capital R. Symbol rate is small r, number of symbols per second. With the flow rate, information rate is R. Small r is symbols per second. Capital R is information rate. Now the information rate is small r into h of s. That is given to binary encoded data. Binary encoder. The binary encoder assign the symbols. So the binary encoder rate is small r. Small r into, this is omega s. Omega s. Here the omega s is entropy. Here h of s also is entropy. Omega s is entropy for the binary source. H of s is entropy for the memoryless source. So you can equate these two. Small r into h of s for the information rate from the memoryless source. Small rb into omega s is the information rate for the binary encoder. It is also a source. It should emit only the binary data. It is a source, emits the number of symbols. Okay, now with the rate. Now capital R is equal to R into h of s less than equal to RB. Where RB is the binary data. Because of binary encoder emits the binary symbols now. So small r is symbols from the memoryless source. Now capital R is equal to small r into h of s less than equal to R of B. Now h of s is equal h of s less than equal to R of B by R. From this now h of s is equal to h of s less than equal to R of B by R. Where R of B by R is known as n bar. R of B by R is known as n bar, where n bar is average code word length. Now the n bar can be calculated as sigma pi ni. Pi is the probability of ith symbol and ni is the length of the ith symbol. Pi is probability of ith symbol, ni is length of the ith symbol. N bar is equal to sigma pi ni. Okay. Now n is average code word length. N bar is average code word length, and ni is nth code word length. So now, if the minimum value of n bar is bounded between h of s and h of s plus theta. So h of s, that is n bar, is between h of s and h of plus theta. So some incremental value. Now the efficiency is equal to n minimum by n bar. So n minimum is minimum number of bits for each symbol. So the optimum code achieves the lower bound of n is equal to h of s. Otherwise it is suboptimal code. Now, the average code word length of any code assigned to the set of S of symbols can't be less than the entropy. H of S. Define. The average code word length n bar, then the code is realizable and optimal. If you design a code word for the symbols, the code is realizable one or optimal, provided that h of s by n bar less than equal to 1. H of s by n bar less than equal to 1. If the condition is obeys, the code is realizable code or optimal code. The condition is obey. H of s by n bar less than equal to 1 condition is obey. That code is realizable code. This h of s by n bar less than equal to condition should be the Shannon's source coding theorem. H of S is entropy of the source. N bar is average code hold time. H of S by N bar should be less than equal to 1. And that code is uniquely decodable or not, defined by Craft inequality. Craft inequality. So the Craft inequality is K is equal to sigma 2 to the power of minus Ni. K is equal to sigma 2 to the power of minus Ni, less than equal to 1. K is equal to sigma 2 to the power of minus Ni, less than equal to 1. Okay, so it is an Shannon source coding theorem. Shannon source coding theorem. So from the Shannon source coding theorem, you can remember that formula: H of S by N bar less than equal to 1. H of S is average code word length. N bar is H of S is entropy of the source. H of S is entropy of the source. N bar is average code word length. N bar is average code word length. Okay. So if the code is uniquely decodable or not, by checking of Craft inequality. That Craft inequality K is equal sigma 2 to the power of minus Ni, less than equal to 1. Sigma 2 to the power of minus Ni, less than equal to 1. Okay, students, it is the one of the important theorem, the information theory and coding. Okay, so please go through the textbook once. Go through the textbook once, so you can correct the information more and write your own notes. Okay, so it is the Shannon's source coding theorem or Shannon's first law. Shannon's first law. So Shannon's second law is there. Shannon's third law is there. Okay, Shannon gives more information regarding information theory and coding concepts. So information theory and coding concepts related to the error detection and correction process. So though it is channel is noisy, you can able to design a system to withstand that noise. To be able to design the system to withstand that noise. Okay, so that type of systems are have these type of reliability concepts. Okay, that's why Shannon's first law defines as H of S by N bar less than equal to 1. Okay, remember this formula. H of S is entropy of the source. N bar is average code word length. So, and N bar should be calculated as sigma pi ni. N bar should be calculated as sigma pi ni, where pi is the ith probability of symbol and ni is the length of the code for ith symbol. Length of the code for the ith symbol. And if it is uniquely decodable or not, that means, so one code word for unique for that symbol only. So not for any other symbol. If it is 01 meant for A, so always 01 meant for A only, not for any other symbols. So that is uniquely decodable. So now, if suppose you want to transmit the data at the transmitter side, encoder is used. The encoder is for letter A, 01 is the encoded data. Now the 01 is transmitting through a channel. Okay, no. So for the voltage levels are taking place, transmitted through a channel, and 01 transmitted through a channel at the decoder side or the receiver side, decoded 01 to A, 01 to symbol. So that is it. So while you are transmitting the voltage levels through a channel, there are unipolar representation is there, bipolar representation is there, and polar representation is there. Okay. Okay. In the next class, we go for some source coding problems are there. So here, Huffman code is one of the source coding technique, and Shannon-Fano code as another source coding technique. For our curriculum, there are two types of source coding techniques. Hoffman code and Shannon-Fano code. So in the next class, go for Hoffman and source coding techniques. Okay. Students, go through the textbook once and maintain your own notes. Thank you. Thank you for listening.